What you got going on today, Mama? Well, let me get you in here where you can see. Come on over here where you can see. This right here is just foam rubber that someone has put in, but it's still hitting that metal where it rides along here. He said when I hit a bump, it bounces and makes the noise. So I ordered in some new trim. So this is what we're using. OER 67 to 81 trunk weather strip. So the best way that I've figured out over the years is you want your seam, this, to be right here, center of your lock. Now what I do is I go through and I fit it all the way around the perimeter, all the way back to right here. Now, this stuff right here, it will pull and stretch. So when you go around those curves, if you're not careful, you need to make sure that it fits in the channel relaxed instead of pulled, because after the heat and all gets to it, it will try to shrink back up. It'll try to stretch back in or try to pull back into itself. So when you come around here and you get back and you're even on the other side, you need to cut it a little bit long. So this is what I was talking about earlier in the first part of the video. We're coming down to an end of where we're ready for our mark. Well, I just wanted to show you what I meant by stretching and bunching back up. So I'm gonna put a mark on there. Just a relaxed fit, you can see that it would fit right in there. But see how easy it stretches or goes back within itself. So if I start back here and start bunching it back up just a little bit, I mean just a little, and start pulling it back just a little, you'll never notice it. But you can see I've already pulled it back 1/4 of an inch. Or if I am in a hurry or talking or something and I stretch it, it's easy to stretch it past 1/2 an inch. Well, if you stretch it past, when it heats up, it can possibly pull apart. So it's better to pull it back a little bit and bunch it in there and cut it long than it is to cut it short. Because if you cut it long and it ever moves, it won't do anything but go forward. But technically it can't, because it'll be trying to push this whole other side. So it's going to stay a tight seam for every time the customer opens up the trunk lid. All right, so the new trunk rubber is installed. Got a nice cut right there. I normally, like I said earlier, I would glue those so that it would fit dead on. This is what I use to make my cuts on my trunk rubber and stuff like that. These really work good because they'll give you one clean slice. Another thing that I wanted to point out is normally in the corners, all 4 corners, I'll glue. This one I didn't, because this car is supposed to eventually come back for some candy apple red paint. So there was no sense in gluing that down. I'll be able to pull that back out when it's paint time and be able to blast the channel and do a good job, and then I'll glue it back in. But for now, he just wants it to where it won't rattle. So here's the final fit on the Camaro hood. This right here was a little bit off. We loosened it up, moved it forward because of they had it slid all the way back for some reason. So that back gap looks good. This gap looks good. This gap looks good. This gap right here is a little wide, and this one is just a little bit narrow over there in the corner. But for now, until it comes back, we will let it go until it needs to be painted.